Greetings friends, I am the eBiz. This is going to be a new type of video that I might start releasing monthly, or if I have time to do it monthly, and if I have something interesting to talk about. But basically this is a new video series that I'm going to start calling State of the Square Union, and they are basically just channel updates with what's happening with my hobby and how I'm learning how to do things. They'll have both success stories and failures, side projects. I'll talk about the side projects, maybe music or other things going on with my life, and maybe even just like personal stuff if it's interesting or funny. So I am in my 40s. I've only really dove into the wargaming hobby in the last year or so, and for some reason I started a YouTube channel at the same time. But the fun thing about my YouTube channel is that I like to focus on this hobby from a new person's perspective. So if I do a video like a battle report, I do it in a certain way. If you see my battle reports, I like to explain the rules. I have these cool graphics pop up, and I try to make it very easy to understand the game from a new person's point of view. And of course, as a new player, sometimes I get the rules wrong and such. And for the most part, you guys have been really polite about correcting me in the comments, which is really cool. So I used to be heavily involved in another channel in which I built small folk guitars, and I still build the guitars and I still play them out in gigs and stuff, and I have a good time. But even to build a really simple folk guitar, it could take several months to do one properly, and it's hard to just pump content out doing, pumping a guitar out every couple of months and everything. So it's kind of hard to find stuff to talk about. So that's why I got into wargaming with this new channel, and I've had a good time doing that. If there are any musicians out there watching this video, you'll probably agree with me and kind of laugh along with me. But any kind of video that has anything to do with music or playing guitar, those channels are full of very opinionated people. Saying that, I found that when I switched over to making wargaming videos, I found that for the most part, a lot of people have been really polite and really fun to hang out with in the comment section and talk to, and I really appreciate that, so thanks. And now I'm going to get to the actual State of the Square Union update. I'm going to start from the beginning and when I started making YouTube videos for wargaming, and work my way up to now. I bought my first resin 3D printer in November of 2023, not long after I started following and subscribing to One Page Rules in their Patreon. This was a Creality Hallet Mage 8K. I really liked the build plate size, and the flip up lid was really cool. I thought that I would like the exhaust port that they put in the back to get the smell of the resin out, but I ended up making the air box to go into the exhaust port. I ended up buying a very cool filter, or expensive filter, from a hardware store and building an air box. But unless you have some way to actually physically pump the air outside, like through a hole in the wall or something like that, it really doesn't help getting the smell out of your basement or garage or a studio like I have. And it's probably because I have a soybean field in my backyard. For some reason, once a year in my basement studio, I get infested by stink bugs. And with that flip lid that the Hallet Mage has, it really doesn't have like an actual seal that goes around the back and the sides. So stink bugs like to just crawl into the side behind that flip lid and get into the resin and just die in the resin, which was pretty lame. Also didn't like the fact that the main power switch was like in the back of the printer. So it did this saying to where, like, if you leave it for like a really long print job and you wanted to go take a nap or go to work or whatever, and you come back, the whole system, even after the print job was done, would just like the fan would be running, and you could tell like the whole system was its own. So like I feel like that's kind of like crazy to have that option when the main power switch was like hidden behind the printer. And this might be the fact I was like super new at the time at working with 3D printers, but when I got the printer set up and downloaded the free Hallet slicer program that came with the printer, I really couldn't get a print to work. I downloaded my first STL, which was a Saurian Warrior that came free for One Page Rules. I was pretty excited to get it going, and I just couldn't get the printer to work. I tried switching out the USB stick, like they say online, to like a nicer USB stick, and just couldn't get it to talk to the printer. And I eventually like downloaded another slicer and was able to get it to work. And right now I'm using July2024, I think that's how you pronounce the slicer, which I really like. But I feel like that was kind of lame to just to give out a free slicer, and it was pretty like crazy because you're spending all this money. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get to print something, and hey, look, I just wasted a bunch of money because I can't get it to work. But you know, that's in the past now. So once I got it running, I was just like printing and getting really overconfident with it, and I got in this like point where I was leaving a lot of resin in this huge vat because it's got like a huge build plate, and I would just leave it for like days and come back and like print some more. And I don't know if there was like a piece of like a support that fell off, or maybe it was one of the stupid stink bugs that got into the resin, but something got in between the build plate and the LCD screen, and my LCD screen got squished and cracked. And it was pretty hilarious because of that, it wouldn't actually display like an actual image. It would actually just light up the whole LCD screen, and it just printed this huge brick as a file, which I kind of wish I kept, because like looking back, it's kind of hilarious, but I figured it would just never cure right and probably crack and everything. But yeah, cracked LCD. I figured I'd give the printing one more go, and I found a good deal on the Elegoo Mars 4, which it's a smaller system, it has a smaller build plate, and just any pointers for people that are just really getting into the hobby. You know, this is what, you know, this channel is about, and this is kind of what this video is about a little bit. If you're starting out with resin printing, don't go crazy, and I recommend just going with a smaller, cheap printer. Working with the small build plate, like working with resin itself, is almost like a hobby in itself, as far as like learning how to deal with the mess and getting used to like working with the resin. So start small and work your way up. So far, I'm a really big fan of the Elegoo machine. I feel like the overall quality and the build quality of it is just better than the Creality machine. There are some features I miss, like the flip lid, but the fact that you actually have to take the lid and put it on there, it makes like a better seal around the base. So like, and I use a water washable resin from Elegoo anyway, so like I feel like the smell isn't as bad as other resins. But just because the base has, well, the cover has such a tight seal around the base when you put that lid on, I really don't notice the smell that bad. I've actually also got into a better habit of actually taking the resin vat off of the printer in between major print jobs, or if I do like a lot of printing at once, and I'm actually taking the resin and emptying it back into a bottle through a filter, and that way I can check the resin vat and just check, make sure there's no like materials in there that will get squashed and ruin my LCD screen again. I also bought the Elegoo Neptune 3 Pro FDM printer. Really enjoy FDM printing way more than I thought I would. If there's like as soon as technology starts catching up, or if they ever gets to the point where I can actually do, you know, really good quality miniatures with FDM, I'm probably just gonna like leave resin behind, but I don't know if they're ever gonna get to that point. But yeah, as far as like working with terrain and even doing the bases for my little miniatures, I just love printing those with the FDM printer. It's just like, it makes really sharp edges, and I usually have like a better success rate with the FDM printer. And now just a little recap of all the videos that I've released from the beginning up to now. When this channel started out, I was just doing updates about one-page rules and the SCLs that they release monthly through their Patreon. That was just to get content out there, and for me to kind of get more used to like setting up equipment and learning how to do YouTube videos. Plus, I kind of steered away from doing those type of videos just because I was basically just repeating information that you can already find on One Page Rules, Patreon, and since I was kind of new to wargaming, I really couldn't talk about the strategy of the units as much as like somebody like Warboss Fitz or Nexus Wargaming could do. So they could probably do a better job doing something like that. So I'm just going to steer away from that and do more of like the painting and more battle reports and you know, just updates like this. I think it was my second video that I actually did a video called why not Warhammer, and it was basically me talking about why I kind of steered away from Warhammer and went into other games like One Page Rules, and it all of a sudden it kind of blew up. It was one of my more successful videos on the channel, which is kind of hilarious because like any content maker will on a YouTube will tell you that when you look at some of your first videos, you're always kind of, there's like a cringe factor because, oh, wow, I could have done that way better and everything. So it's kind of hilarious that one blew up and everything, but I hope you guys are enjoying that one. I really enjoy doing the painting videos of the painting the miniatures. It doesn't pull in as much views as some of my other content like the battle reports and such, but I still enjoy doing it, so I'm going to still do that. It's taken me a while to really develop what I would call my style. And in the next couple of videos coming up, you're going to see something that I've kind of fallen into. I'm starting to use washes a lot more, and washes with the speed paints. And I do that in a certain combination that I don't think it's like a new thing, but it's new to me, and I'm getting really good at it, and I have like a consistent look that I'm really enjoying now. It's pretty easy for me to like knock out like a whole army with this new style, so look forward to that. Recently I did a video where I showcase paper 2D miniatures, and that video did it way better than I thought it was. It's actually one of my more successful videos, and I've really enjoyed the positive response I've got from that video. I figured people would be a little bit more decisive about that. There are some people that are commenting is like, absolutely not, and that's fine. That's cool to have an opinion and everything. And I haven't stopped using 3D printed models or like buying actual models from the store and everything, but like I really like showcasing paper miniatures. I'm a graphic designer, so it's kind of dear to me to use graphics like that. So look forward to content like that in the future. And also, like, people have been asking me questions like how I'm doing my paper miniatures and stuff, so I want to have more videos, like more how-to videos with the paper stuff coming out. And of course, you're still going to see more battle reports coming out. Those who have seen them know that I do them a certain way, which are kind of cool with a lot of graphics, and it really like has a lot of detail and explain what's going on with the graphics. And I still enjoy doing that. They're pretty intense to produce, obviously. And I've learned that I need to, out of the two game sets, I specialize in the smaller games anyway, like One Page Rules, Firefight, and then Age of Fantasy. But I've learned that I need to actually focus my energy towards one of those because I just don't have the time and energy to like do them both. And it's gonna it's probably a bad decision because Firefight is more in line with 40K, which more people are going to like search that, and I'll probably get more views. But I'm leaning towards Age of Fantasy. I just like the fantasy models that One Page Rules are coming out with. I like the rule set, and I like this Age of Fantasy quest that it's this release. So I'm really getting into that. I know they're going to have like a Firefight version later, but like as of now, you're going to see more 3D printed models of the Age of Fantasy genre, and I'll still do Firefight, but it'll probably showcase more of the 2D paper miniatures. Alright, random comment time. In my last video I had a random comment, like you can see in the background a lot of my videos I have music equipment and everything, and someone actually asked, would you talk about guitar before playing a song or a show? Which I think that's kind of hilarious that somebody was like, hey, let's talk about music on a miniature wargaming channel. But hey, here's my answer. To put on a good show while you're playing guitar, or even just play a song, is all about repetition, and it's all about being really comfortable. When you're really comfortable with your hobby, it looks like you know what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing. So like, it's all about this repetition, being relaxed, and being comfortable. My buddy Shane and I, we've been jamming for years and doing gigs and everything, and we've kind of learned the hard way that the worst thing you can do is to come in and set up and immediately start jamming, because it just looks like it's just crazy and it's too intense. The best thing you can do is, if the venue will let you, like, get there as early as possible. And if it's one of those gigs where you have to bring your guitars and set them up and bring your own PA system and set that up and do sound check, get it all set up, get the lights set up, do sound check, get everything ready. Where all you have to do is get up and play, but get everything ready, and then for a good hour, go to the bar or like go somewhere where you have to eat or something and just chill and relax, and do that before you actually get up on stage and do your gig. Try to come up with some sort of a tradition or something that you can do before every gig, and this is something that you need to repeat and practice religiously. If you are religious, do a prayer or something. But if you're not, like, you and your buddies go sit in a car and listen to some good music and really get like a good vibe going where you're all just hanging out and having a good time before you go out and do that show. Anything that gets the band on the same wavelengths is going to help. You want to leave all the bullcrap of society and your work and your job and everything outside of that door. And when you come into the venue, let the spirit of the radio just take you over and play that gig. Okay, so that's pretty much just a quick overview of what's going on. Thank you for watching the State of the Square Union. It's been a blast so far. I've actually really enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. I've got a lot of really cool, encouraging comments from you guys, so I really appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll catch you guys later.